So Beulah, would you like to discuss who you are and like your practice and your work and what you do and what you're interested in, maybe?
Yeah, sure. So I I'm Beulah. Um, yeah, so I think I was born in Nigeria, raised in Ireland, currently living in Glasgow. I have a curatorial practice and a master's in curating. And mainly I do programming, a little bit of writing,
Mm,
um, and researching as well. Quite a lot of I guess like my methodology when I'm thinking about like curation or programming is really thinking about like collaboration, dialogue, documenting exchanges or conversation, gathering information. Um, yeah, for me, I'm quite interested in working, I guess meeting the artists where they're at and then working towards something together.
right. So kind of like coming up with like a theme first and then working from there would maybe be something
Yes.
that like you're like used to like organizing or maybe like have you ever done exhibitions that maybe like it's all like work that would fit under like work that's already made that would like fit under heading or title or theme.
Um, so I'd say not me personally. I feel like sometimes larger institutions work that way. So if, say, you wanted to show a work in Emma and the
Mm,
main curator there had a specific theme, they would then find you and find work that fits under that theme. So the kind of work I've done is I've worked in like non-hierarchical artist-centered or artist-led institutions. So that is about you and your practice. So if your practice crosses over with an interest that I might have, we would do that working towards a theme together, if that makes sense.
that's
So, for
really
example,
interesting. No, you're okay. That's no, that's actually really interesting. And when you
yeah,
talk about like larger institutions, are you talking about the way that like gallery etiquette and like gallery kind of like do's and don'ts kind of things? Is that what you're kind of like hinting towards or
no, not necessarily. I'm just thinking about different structures of making. Yeah, no, I also think in my practice now, I'm thinking quite a lot about like what I want and how I
mm,
want to work with people. I think something I care about as well is care too, and that's a big part of curation because like it does also mean care, right? So you're facilitating a relationship between yourself and someone else.
yeah,
Um, there's a curator that says that like exhibition making is kind of about storytelling. It's about like gathering people around a fire, you know,
yeah,
as a metaphor, and
that's really
like distilling some sort of like cultural knowledge in a way that like everyone can understand. So as an independent curator, that's what feels important to me. Maybe in a larger institution, I think those things are more focused on like funding. They're more focused on like being current with their themes. I think I found like I've worked with Emma and the Galway Arts Centre and the Douglas Hyde Gallery. And in those institutions, they've also shown me care, but also they have different, they would
yeah,
work way than I would as an
yeah,
independent practice.
yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for that answer. I actually, yes, I think that put it into better perspectives for me, as well. And like, since you're talking about like, a curator, maybe from a different background to like the general, like, you know what I mean, like, white Irish, kind of person. Do you feel like there's a certain amount of like different perspective for you, maybe? Maybe there's a different way that you might pursue it, or maybe there isn't. But I just wonder, like, what does it feel like to be like almost like the first of its kind, like a Black Irish creator and like curator as well? Like, what comes with that as well? Is basically what I'm asking.
That's a good question too. Yeah, I think that's so flattering for you to say that. I think, yeah, that's very hard to answer. I feel as if like a lot of what informs my practice is like thinking this is an important thing for me to do and this is something I like
Yeah.
doing. So it's been like making a space for myself, being like, I think before I even knew what curating was, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to like facilitate spaces where ideas or knowledge or stories can be disseminated in whatever form, fits, or like in different forms as well. Yeah, so it kind of is like doing the thing that you instinctually want to do and making sure that there's a space for you to do it. And that's easier said than done, but it is also just like, yeah, I think I started out by just being very naive and like brave and just saying like I want to do like Erin and I, for example, was a project that I was like thinking through in the sense that like I was like, okay, I grew up in direct provision. I find that when we talk about like Black Irishness, I was in UCD at the time, and there's this Black module on like Black studies, and it was all like critical race theory. It was all like American. I was like, this is really important, but what about like Black British study or struggle? There's like quite a big history there. And then it's like, furthermore, what about like Black Irish? Like, what is our story here?
Yeah.
So it was kind of thinking through like, what do I like doing? I
Yeah.
like doing art. I like doing like community engagement, and what do I want to make? So it was just kind of applying for funding, applying for things where I could like get support and maybe like learn how to do what I wanted to do. And I think to be able to like name all of these challenges, you kind of have to like be within that institution. So I think you're like well placed in NCAD, so you would know like these are the opportunities that I can have because I'm Black. These are the ones that I'm not getting because I'm Black.
Because I'm also Black. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is what people are expecting of me. And is there any space for like possibility? Is there space for me to be or do something else? And I think that's what really keeps me motivated. And that's something to be critical of as well, or like to keep in mind, like the sort of like criticality
Behind being like, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's also about like bringing people into, yeah, being able to bring people into and just being like, there are also so many other Black art workers as well. Like, what do they have to say? And because I have this resource, I can distribute it in a way that also brings other people in. So that's what feels very important to me.
How did you learn what you had an interest in? And also, how did you find those interests, maybe?
Yeah, I think, how did I learn what I had an interest in? I feel like part of it is thinking about what I did as a kid. Like,
yeah,
what is the thing that brought me joy? How did I do it? Like, now I can name, like, okay, I have a curatorial practice. I'm interested in criticality. I'm interested in working with artists who have a research-based practice, and I'm interested in text, I'm interested in writing, but it's also going back and being like, what was I doing when I was like 12? Like,
yeah,
I can name them in this way, like I can use the right jargon and like make an application and just say exactly what my practice is, but it's like something that I traced back to just what I did before I knew.
Yeah.
And then also like think about what else I can do or what else I can be,
Right. And it's like what's possible, even if it seems like the path to it might not be so clear, like what maybe in your head you would like to do, even if it kind of seems outside of it as well. Yeah, yeah. Kind of bringing it towards like how would this space feel to like other people? So to people who maybe have never been to a gallery in the first place, people who might be students, people who might be already in the field, kind of creating it like a middle ground for where they can all exist.
So as I'm working towards this exhibition, I'm kind of like thinking about what I'm interested in and how I'll do it too, like how I'll find artists, but also how I'll interact with them. And like, yeah, so this book is Pigeonization as Cultural or as Curatorial Methodology. So he's thinking about curatorial and practice, and he's also thinking about pigeonization. So like, I guess using your mother tongue, mixing it with this like colonial tongue and creating something that's really new and powerful.
What do you enjoy about job of a curator? Like what do you enjoy from
it? I think I really enjoy it because it's creative. Although I don't make art myself, it is really like, it feels to me like a map or something, or like a puzzle where you're fitting all of these pieces together, like you're fitting ideas and people together. And when you like step back from it, you've like communicated something, like you've translated something.
So that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for joining me. And I really hope that you get well soon and have a really great day. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. It's like freaking out on me. I don't know what's going on. But no, I really do appreciate all this. I'm going to stop recording.